We've been blessed with the presence of Father John Michael Lee, engine company aide, Robert Esposito. So we have Captain Jack Houlihan. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jack Houlihan. I've got a Canadian engine. Sometimes Ralph calls. I'd like to thank all the guys from Vinegar Hill for giving me the words of encouragement for this public speaking thing, which I take to do. I'm going to give it a shot. I'm here today for Ralph. Ralph couldn't be here. We all know he's in the hospital. We're all praying for him, and we hope he gets better soon. You know. I'll give you a little bit of Ralph's history. Ralph is a veteran of the Marine Corps. He served from 75 to 78 Force Recon, which entailed Army Ranger School, which was scuba diving, parachuting. And the reason I mention this is because Ralph, you can still see his military background in his demeanor today. He always gives respect to rank and authority. Ralph was assigned to 80 on March 25th, 1990. Early on in his career, Ralph was struggling and went to get help at the counseling center. He turned his life around, which turned out to benefit not only himself, but literally thousands of people. Ralph was on light duty due to an injury, and from there he got himself assigned to the counseling unit September 10, 2001. They say there are no coincidences, and I believe that. God stepped in and put Ralph right where he belonged. For the next 10 months, Ralph was on the file with the counseling unit, helping numerous families deal with their losses. Actually, at one point, Ralph spoke at Yale College, where no Ralph put him at Yale. So he was supposed to speak for like half an hour. And he was speaking about how the firemen were dealing with this tragedy. Because they were kind of stunned that we kept going, you know. And Ralph stayed there for like 3 hours with questions and answers, and they couldn't ask him enough, you know. What was that? Senior moment, there you go. Ralph, after 10 months down at the file, Ralph decided to come back to the firehouse just for night tours. He would drive me on night tours, and on day tours he would work at the counseling. But it seemed like Ralph was always working at the counseling. His phone never stopped ringing. I don't know how many times I threatened him, I'm going to throw that phone out of the ring. You know, pay attention to the fireman tonight, you know. And it seemed like whenever there was a tragedy, Ralph was there. After New Orleans, after Katrina in New Orleans, he went down there to help them start a peer counseling group. He went down to Charleston when they lost 9 firemen down there to help them start a peer counseling group. And they kept calling, asking for Ralph to come down. Ralph has a gift. You could put Ralph in any firehouse kitchen, and within 10 minutes, the guy would trust him. I never seen anything like it. He just has that gift, and he's very good at what he does. You know, when John Martinson died last year, John Martinson was a fireman with us for 8 years, and Ralph, of course, was at the hospital that night, and we went to 249, 113, and I watched Ralph give his counseling unit spiel to the guys. He was able to put all his stuff on his shelf and get on with his job, and you could see that the guys really respected Ralph, and he really was very good during the whole thing. Another thing that Ralph does, he's very active with the Wounded Warriors. He goes down to Washington with John Vigiano occasionally. And Ralph's a giver. You know, even when he wasn't feeling well, and he had people coming up with the Wounded Warriors, and Ralph gives this, they call it the Ralph Tour. He brings them up to the firehouse, give them coffee, give them lunch, you know. But struggling through that, even when he wasn't feeling good, he was so dedicated that he just put everything on the shelf and he took care of the Wounded Warriors. And I always respected him for that. I'll tell you guys a thing that kind of sums up Ralph for me. I talk about the counseling unit and all those other things, but Ralph was a terrific fireman. He was tough, confident, and a heads-up fireman. And he always got me water, which for an engine company officer, that's gold. That's what we wouldn't go anywhere without our water. But anyway, we had a tough fire uptown, and so I come down after the fire, and I see Ralph, and he's talking to a young girl. You know, so I was going to go over there and bust his chops. You know, I'm up there getting my brains beat in, and they're talking to him. You know, and when I walked over, I saw that the girl was hysterical crying, and Ralph was consoling her because her apartment got wrecked. And with that, he sees me, and he goes, "Boy, I look bad in the street. I was saying Hail Marys to you guys." And he proceeds to tell me, the chief looks like he took a real pounding up there. He looks terrible. You gotta make him go to the hospital. You know, and he was right. The chief needed to go to the hospital. But Ralph watched out for everybody. You know, even in the street. The next day, Ralph went over and helped this kid move all her stuff out of her farm. You know, and the things that I'm saying here about Ralph, he would never get up there and fight. Even when he got this award, he came in the office and he goes, "They want to make me man of the year." You know, I said, "I don't know about this." You know, I said, "You got to do it, Ralph." You know. Anyway, I think I'm done. This is Robert, Ralph's son, who's going to read a letter from Ralph.
On behalf of my father, my family, and myself, I would like to thank everybody for taking the time out of their busy schedule to be here. I would like to thank the Holy Name Society as well as the FDNY for awarding my father this honor. Although I would want nothing more than to be in the audience where I belong watching my father accept this award, it is still an honor for me to be here accepting it on his behalf. My family is proud to see my father get awarded by such an honorable society for doing something in which he loves doing. My father asked me to read a speech that he prepared while at the hospital. Before I do that, I'd like to take a minute of your time to personally thank 80 and 23. I understand what this award must mean to my father. I get it because I understand what you guys mean to me. I get it because I'm a civilian that grew up in the suburbs of Long Island, and some of my greatest childhood memories occurred on 139th Street and Amsterdam Avenue. Some of my most important lessons growing up concerning camaraderie and loyalty I learned from you guys as a child. When I hear Cats in the Cradle and think about growing up to be like my own man, it has everything to do with surrounding myself with people like you guys for a lifetime. From the first time an 8-year-old child stepped onto the forbidden third-floor racquetball court, to the breakfast you guys brought us this morning at the condo. I sincerely thank you guys for everything you've done for my father as well as my brother and I. Every memory, joke, lesson, and tear growing up concerning you guys throughout my life has been nothing short of great. Except, of course, that riot in '93 when Captain Jack thought I was a local and threw me out the front door. Thank you, Thank you, Agent 23, and the rest of the department for letting people stand for. You guys are great. This is my father's letter. Greetings to all. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to my children. I appreciate my sister Paulette and my boys Robbie and Frank for standing up for me today. With the exception of God Almighty, there is nothing more important to me than family. If you don't know what I look like, I'd be a cross between my two children if I took better care of myself.
We're not making it up.
First off, it's a privilege to share this honor with Dan Finnegan, Engine 50 and Ladder 19. The brothers from the Bronx have always been a class act. Thanks to Chief Joe Bryant and the Holy Name Society. I'm not entirely sure how or why I was chosen for this honor, but if there is a monetary award that goes with it, I haven't gotten it. I suppose my work with the counseling service unit is what got me here, in which case I must sincerely thank 5 people. Chief of Department Salvatore Casano, the Chief of Operations, Pat McNally, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Kerry Kelly, Mallory Corrigan, and Frank Lito. These 5 individuals had enough faith in my abilities to allow me a unique opportunity with the appropriate authority and a flexible schedule that enabled me to help firemen and their families through crisis situations. This was an honor and a privilege for me. It was also a pleasure to work with the personnel at the CSU, who are always very supportive of me. Think about it. They took me off the streets of Harlem and made me work downtown in a Soho office alongside beautiful, intelligent women. Yeah, that job really sucked. I didn't get a start at the CSU because of some kind of psycho genius. No shit. I won't go into details on how it occurred. Just think of me as the hair club guy. Remember that commercial where the guy wasn't only the president of the company, but also the employee? As Captain Jack said, I ended up getting assigned to the counseling unit on September 10, 2001. No kidding, that was my start date. Talk about on-the-job training. 19 years ago, I was assigned to Engine 80 and Ladder 23, the Vinegar Hill Gang, an oasis in the middle of the ghetto. I was very fortunate to be in the 16th Battalion, too. I also felt welcomed and confident with the surrounding companies. The firehouse reminded me of Peter Pan and Never Neverland. Everything was a goof, a load of laughs. And once in a while, you'd have to fight the pirates to the death. When I first got to Harlem, my civilian friend said, "That's some tough luck. Have a loan before you can transfer out." They just didn't understand. Perhaps they never will. Many of those firemen back then are here today. I thank them for coming. They always had my back. They're retired now, replaced by new guys. My back is still covered. Same circus, different clowns. The day after last Thanksgiving, the firehouse burned. I learned that Vinegar Hill is what you have left after the building burns down. They say the fire started because of some old wires in the study room. Late one night, like a week later, I got a call from one of the old timers who's currently retired down south. When I told him how it burned down, he said he figured the firehouse got sober and committed suicide. Today, as we speak, they are running a race in Staten Island in honor of my dear friend Scotty LaPietra. His son, who is a member of Engine 80 now, along with some other junior members, are running that show. And so the tradition continues. Thank you, Vinegar Hill, for all you've done for me and my boys to this very day. Alumni, can you believe they are honoring me for Man of the Year? The It's a long way from sorting screws in the basement of 80. I also would like to thank my dear friends from whom have been here for my recent childhood, especially those present today. I'm sorry I couldn't be here today for this honor. I'm currently in a hospital dealing with heart problems. I'm a little lumped up, but I figure it's just a temporary condition. We all know, stuff happens. I hope I thank the appropriate people. Now, most notably, I thank Jesus Christ for blessing me with all of you. After all, that is the holy name of this society. I just want to let you guys know that I wrote what I wrote before I received a speech from my father in the hospital. It's ironic to me because I remember those parties at Scotty's house as a kid, and I also remember those weekends in the hospital when Scotty was dying. I didn't get it back then, but I guess my father's right, because if Scotty's at the race at this moment for his father, and I'm standing here accepting this award on behalf of mine, and you guys are all here and at the race supporting each other, well then the tradition does continue. That's got to be what this award means to my father. Thanks for keeping it alive.